All right. My friend was on their way home from work. We hadn't had a chance to talk yet today, so. But that is taken care of. All right. Well, you're making progress. Oh, man. So interesting thought idea. Thinking about going to San Francisco. No real reason, just a thought. Just thinking about going to Grand Junction. Oh boy, Glenwood Springs, Colorado. But Spider, you're in the way. Move. I want you to get skedaddle stuff. Sheesh. Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about going to Glenwood Springs, but the time of year would potentially be March, and yeah, it's gonna be snowy. It's up in the Rocky Mountains, and I'm just like, March probably not the best time of year to go do that trip. There's a possibility that we could get stuck. If we got a freak snowstorm situation. So there's that potential. I don't know. Never been to San Francisco, but more than a couple hours layover at the international airport. So I'll have to talk about those stories one of these days on here, maybe. We'll see. It's a skeleton riding a spider. Nice. Um, but yeah, thinking about maybe heading that way. I guess it's supposed to be a really fun city to visit. Obviously, I'm not a giant big fan of California. Just don't appreciate some of the things they've done politically over the years. Just don't agree. That's my opinion. Whatever. Not to say that I wouldn't visit. San Francisco, I would be interested in places like that with some sort of historical significance. No desire at all to visit the LA area, Hollywood area, any of that kind of stuff at all. Just not into it, not my jam. I know there's a couple things out there I would love to see. It'd be kind of fun to see the Apple headquarters. I don't think that's open to the public. That I know of. I'd have to do some search. But that would be fun. I know it's not super far away from. Yeah, there he is. Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about going to California, other than maybe to visit San Francisco for a few days. Now, there's some stuff out there I would love to see. But to my knowledge, it's not open to the general public, so it would be interesting to drive by it to see it, but it's inside. I think it would be inappropriate to just knock on the door, sort of situation. The San Francisco area is where Mythbusters was produced, shot. That's where the main Jamie Heinemann's main store, main workshop is. Adam Savage still has a place in the Mission District. Like I said, that is not open to the public. And they don't do tours of M5. It is a business. He's still in business in the industry of effects and stuff. So it's not going to have a tour. And this many years removed from making a show, I don't know what really the draw would be other than just to meet the guy. And not somebody that I would need to meet. So they traveled all those years around through my area, actually. They did come through Chicago, I do believe, a couple times. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Just never thought about it, meeting him. Didn't really enjoy the show. Show's great. Definitely loved it. Very cool. Very, very important to pop culture at the time. Kind of showed everybody that, hey, maybe, hey, maybe there's stuff that they do movies that isn't real, and maybe some of it is actually, there might be a grain of truth to it. Those are some of the favorite ones they ever covered, was the movie physics, to call it. It sounds good on paper, but in reality, it's actually quite different. It just turns out explosions in real life don't involve giant fireballs. But fireballs look good on camera, and they make people go, wow. So I think it you know, this show definitely had its place in culture at its time. It's been forever since I've seen it, watched any episodes. Um, I have some of their DVDs, so I watch one of these days. Who knows? I know architecturally speaking, there's a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, the streetcars. There's that famous hill. I can't remember the name of. Golden Gate Bridge. Um, Alcatraz. I think they do tours of Alcatraz still to this day. Um, it is getting to be a very old site. I know they maintain it so that it doesn't degrade any further than it has within reason. It is, I believe it is a park now. So you can go to it and visit it. That'd be interesting, especially if you did the tour where you got to hear some of the story and some of the lore of it. I'd love to find some of those markets for art and stuff. I think that would be fun. Not a nightlife person, so we're not too worried about that kind of thing. I don't really go out at night. It's not something I do. Other than maybe to get something to eat at a takeaway place. So, or you know, if I'm already out for dinner, might catch a movie. That's a night out for me. Would be like dinner and a movie with friends. Not really. Pretty boring when it comes to that kind of thing. To be honest with you, it's just not my jam. So, that area of the world, I do believe there is a theater district that I would like to visit and find a show or two to go to. So, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. There's a few not Disney places in California I think would be interesting to go to. Knott's Berry Farm. There's another one. Its name escapes me at the moment. I think would be close to San Francisco. Although I think some of that stuff's closer to LA. So maybe one of those situations where we do a multi. We're going to be there for a few days. So it might be one of those, you know, going to San Francisco, go to one place and then go to another. Do like a couple nights, one stay a couple nights in one area, then stay a couple nights in another, and then go home situation, just so we can maximize our opportunities to see cool stuff. So I think Knott's Berry Farm would probably be more my speed. Disneyland probably not so much. My biggest beef with Disney is the price, because whoa, that's a lot to spend. Just to go stand in line all day. So I definitely, there are rides I would definitely be interested in. I don't roller coaster. I did a wooden one once. That was fun, and I was like, that's enough fun. Going upside down in a roller coaster doesn't look like fun to me. Going on a loop, corkscrews, all that stuff. I'm sure it would be fine. It's not a fear. It's just like if I'm gonna stand in line to ride something, I want to ride it, not something I'm like, eh. So, was my traveling companion. Um, they are definitely not gonna go on a roller coaster. So I'm not gonna make them stand in line with me while yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, no. So, um, so yeah. But other things, sure. Um, looking ahead to maybe things to do next year in the spring. So definitely want to do something. Just haven't decided yet. So I know there's one place I'd love to go, but it's expensive. So play that by ear, see what happens. A friend also suggested that we go to New Orleans, but I don't know what in the world I'd do down there. There's some historic stuff. There's a few museums and stuff like that. That I think would be interesting. Obviously, the food. That would be one of my main reasons to go. I would definitely want to experience the food, Creole cooking. I've had a little bit in my lifetime, but I think I could eat more. So I would love to maybe go down and eat. My travel companion that would like to go with me wants to go for like a week. And I struggled to find more than about 3 days worth of stuff to do. It's not a resort town. So, I don't like to travel and sit around and do nothing. But I want to, be on the run the whole trip either. I do like to relax. Find a nice cafe or something and, have coffee, relax. Stuff like that. But to just sit around a hotel room for, a day just because it doesn't sound like fun to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to do there. I know they have a theater district and where you can go and see shows, but that's at night. It's like, well, what do you do the rest of the day? So I don't think my friend would want to go into the swamps. I don't think going into the swamps in March would yield us any cool to see stuff. Could be wrong on that. I know they do, or you can go out into the bayou or on a boat. I'm not sure that's a good idea for my friend. You have to ask him and see, how they feel about boats. Definitely know if we did the San Francisco thing, I would definitely want to do some boating. I know to get to Alcatraz, I do believe that is a boat. Yeah, it is a boat. There's no bridge. So you have to take a boat to get to that. So what she says, they have done. So hey, that's cool. So maybe as long as it's a ferry situation, maybe it's one of those where they're okay with a ferry, but maybe not like a little bitty boat out in the bayou. I'm not really sure. But if we did the bayou thing in New Orleans, that would be nice. Something. I suppose if a guy is that close to the Gulf of Mexico, maybe there's a day excursion on a larger boat. That's like lunch kind of situation. Oh, look, another one. Oh, that's interesting. I'm playing this game forever in a hot minute, and I can tell you how many times I found an emerald ore, and it's 2. Earlier this stream, and then right now. I've literally played this game forever, and I think that's the 2nd emerald block I've ever found in the wild. So, I am surprised, to say the least. I don't know. I wonder if that's something that they improved on with the caves update and stuff. One of these days I should read the patch notes for this game. I used to read them when the updates would come out. So I was curious what was changing and what was new and what was getting added. I just found out the other day. Oh, I just found out about the buried ruins thing that we were digging up last stream. So, as you say, we are digging still, but we are not digging up an old abandoned ruin tonight. I was hoping I could get some family on here to help with the creation of their new map, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Fortunately, when I do projects like this, people want to discuss what to do, and it's like, hey, do you want to mindlessly click the button and make flat? And they're just like, well, I'm not, well, then, unfortunately, I don't need help deciding on what to do. That part has been decided. I just want to know if you want to mindlessly sit here and do this. Because if you do, and I got a solution for you. Well, this kind of stuff isn't for everybody. I get that. Some people don't like them mindlessly this big. So, it's fun. The build part will be probably in a week or 2. So, certainly big enough of a spot. I may end up with some extra buffer around it. We'll see. I don't think I'm gonna go super duper spread out. I want you to be able to get from one part to the next without too much messing around. Obviously, it's gonna be for villagers, and I want to organize them by profession. So, we'll have a section for armor, we'll have a section for tools and weapons. I want to do it in a way that keeps the villagers from getting hurt, but also keeps them from wandering off into the woods and dying, or generally just getting lost. So they won't be able to go outside. It's going to be enclosed. So as a player, you'll have to go through a gate to get in. So obviously, if I was trying to do this quick and easy, I would just go wall off that village, over there. Yeah, it's like that way. Yeah, if I wanted to, I would just go wall this village off and corral them all, but that's not really what we're looking to do. So I was thinking it's a little more substantial than just modifying a village. So they'll probably end up being sub-villages, as I know. Like the bell has a range to it, and I know that the villagers want the bell to go and talk at the end of the day. They actually have a schedule that they keep. Roughly, they sleep at night, get up in the morning. They don't go straight to work in the morning. They usually find another villager to talk to. They do their thing. They have their morning routine, and they have their afternoon routine. Then they have their it's quitting time. They stand around the bell and talk, and then they all go home for the night. So we don't want to keep them from being able to do their usual routine, because I know if they don't get sleep, and I think they need to eat these days too, they do actually, they can die. I've had it happen. I walled in a village a couple updates back. Actually, it was last winter. And villagers would just randomly die. And it turns out I actually didn't have enough beds in the village. And they kept... farmer would feed everybody around the bell in the evening. Because that's what farmers do. They harvest and they give food away. But it fell with villagers. And then, well, a fed villager will make a villager. Well, I don't know if there was a bug in the game, but 5 or 6 couples, and we get together, we end up with more baby villagers than beds. So then they couldn't sleep at night. So then they would already be out of bed, and it was time to sleep because the little baby villagers stay at the house with the bed, and they jump on it and play at home. So by the time the villager who normally would sleep in that bed would pass back to the bed, it would have somebody in it. So then they stand there and get aggravated. And then eventually what will happen is they'll get a zombie uptick one evening, and they'll go outside because they're done. They can't use their bed because there's somebody in it. So then they get turned into a zombie or die or whatever. And yeah, then you lose. You go back, the next day, a few play sessions later, and you go to sell the stuff that you sold, a day ago, and the villager who buys it is gone. And then there's a new villager with that profession because the workbench was freed up and the child took it. And then, but they don't buy the same stuff because, they don't all buy the same things. It's happened to stonecutters, and you'd get back and they'd be base level wanting to buy clay again, and you're like, well, I don't want to sell you clay. I cooked a bunch of stone. You know, where's my guy that buys stone? Well, he's gone. So, need to make sure it's set up in a way where they can experience, do what they need to do, but that they stay in their lane in their section. I want to make sure everybody's named, make sure everybody has a place so that we can find them. Especially when it comes to the librarians and the mending and the enchantment books. You know, probably build a library situation, and they'll have we'll have workstations in different wings of the library, and then in the middle of the library you have your enchanting